as the first three races have progressed. It has continued to dry out. So Charlie Butler-Henderson, for these guys, that's probably going to be important. More power equals really a demand for more surface grip. So the drier it gets, the better they'll like it.
Yeah, these cars at the front that you can see on the camera shot there, they're all pretty much space-framed chassis with loads of sort of road-going bodywork on. So they look actually bigger than actually what they are. They've got loads of power, ranging from around 230 brake horsepower up to the Z4 look-alike at the front, having 270 brake horsepower. So these guys really are going to have to wrestle with the steering wheel and be smooth on the throttle.
Well, this is our onboard camera, and as you can see, it is pretty wet and nasty. This is Mick Grant in his Tiger R6 2-litre open sports car, and yeah, you feel very exposed in these conditions. Well, again, like most of our races, coming round for a rolling start, so the pole man will be leading them. That's Keith White in the red BMW Z4. He's now waiting for Mick Robertson. No, Mick Robertson won't take the start, so there's nobody alongside him. Here we go then, ready for the start of race 3, the Quaife Intermarque Championship, and away they go. Keith White in the red BMW Z4 on his own at the start of the race. The man who was second quickest in qualifying, Mick Robertson, crashed his Corrado at the end of practice and too badly damaged to take the start. So the BMW that has won all the races so far this year has taken the lead from pole position. Behind him on row 2, Baz Johnson and Tommy Field. The silver Pontiac and the Vauxhall Tigra were the guys that were battling. The Vauxhall in second place. And straight through as well. That's a very quick start from Bill Cookson in the Caterham 7. Two different sorts of open sports cars in this. Caterham 7s, a couple of them, and a few of the Tiger R6s as well. So it's going to be trying to... Oh, and there in fact is another, the second of the Corrados. The number 28 car of Chris Ayling with... again, very substantially modified bodywork on it. There's Chris Ayling, big DTM-style wheel arches. As you can see, some of the cars here, like Paul Eves' Sierra Sapphire there, still in the modification stage.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do, if you saw the back of the screen there, the blue Peugeot, just getting two wheels off on the exit of Devil's Elbow, car number 91 there. Really was hanging it out to dry there, being very, very brave with the back end of the car. So that was Baz Johnson. Baz Johnson being a little bit leery on the exit of Devil's Elbow. Well,
he's in 9th at the moment. It's Keith White BMW that leads from Tommy Field and Chris Brockhurst, the Caterham of Nick Starkey in 5th place, Chris Ayling rather in 5th place. And whoa, yeah. Dear oh dear.
Subaru.
Now, that's the second crash for Stratton Mackay. He had an off at Gerrard's in qualifying, and in fact took all the same body panels off, so easily dispensable, but unfortunately he is out. Well, now whether that is going to force them to bring out the safety car or not remains to be seen.
And there you have it, really, a four-wheel drive car with a Subaru, and on the exit of Devil's Elbow we've got...
Oh my word, that's the Corrado.
Corrado being pushed wide and going wide, really much sort of willing all on his own. Not the place you want to be, really, especially this early on in the race.
Well, that was Chris Ayling there. I'm getting my Corrados, my 205s all mixed up. Car number 50 is Malcolm Harding as he sides up the order now. Malcolm, again, I think, had problems in practice, qualified out of session. So that car working its way up the order fast. It's Mercedes SLK. I'm afraid it looks as though the car is beached there because he's tried to roll back a little, hasn't he?
I'm thinking we're going to have a safe...
I think you're right.
Safety car, there
safety
we go.
car is out. So you even beat the message on the screen. Same as Martin Brundle, you're as quick as him. So Stratton Mackay, Subaru Impreza, he has tried to back it out onto the circuit, and either it's got a drive problem of some kind, or he's got beached. I don't think he's got beached, but the marshal's obviously going to struggle to move that. So the safety car will bring the field under control. It'll pick them up now as the leaders are coming through Gerrard's. We see the rest of the field streaming through the hairpin.
This is not what you want from a driver's point of view. You know, you built up a bit of a lead and now everybody's now bunched back up again, so this isn't ideal. So the safety car's out, ambulance goes out just to make sure. So yeah, the ambulance going out there just to double check that the driver's okay. Did sort of clout the barriers, I think, fairly hard. You can see the exhaust and exhaust, etc., hanging off that car.
It's pretty much universally accepted by foreign racing drivers when they come to the UK as being the best in the business. They get a lot of practice. They get a lot of practice in dealing with cars in filthy weather conditions, and they are all going to be wet and muddy when they get home. So boys and girls, if you're taping this for later and you're watching it at home, having been to Mallory Park, thank you very much, and wherever you're marshalling, and all the best to you, because it's only the marshals that keep the sport going.
Right, so that incident, you can see the marshal's post SC, the yellow and black board of safety car, so we all know what that means. That incident has been cleared up now, so if I was in the driver's seat of one of these vehicles, I'd be ready for the safety car to be turning its lights out, going back into the pits. Oh no, it still is actually. I thought it had just about moved away. My mistake. Apologies to you viewers that thought that it had vanished.
That is the only bit of Gerard's we can't see, because there's a tree in the way. One of the neatly manicured trees about which Jenny Gow was complaining. She said there's too regular. Yes, well, that's because they planted them at regular intervals, but there you go.
And those of you that can see the drivers wiggling their wheels, going from left to right across the track, they're not bored, they're not just playing around with the steering wheel, they are actually generating heat back into their tyres again, because it's very, very easy to lose temperature in your brakes and in your tyres, so they're just weaving around trying to get as much heat into those wet tyres as they can on this really greasy, slippery surface here today at Mallory Park.
Of course, it's again, one of the great truisms is that every driver knows that most heat in the tyres comes from the brakes, because as you stand hard on the brakes, particularly in any form of racing, but on a road car as well, then you will heat up the brake disc, and in turn that will heat up the wheel, and in turn that will keep air temperature in the tyre, because it heats the air that the wheel and the tyre are met by. But nonetheless, even in Formula One, you see drivers weaving, even though they know that using the brakes and the throttle are the best way to keep heat in the tyres. So you can't expect anybody in any other category to do anything else. What it does do for the club driver, I suppose, and particularly not in a wings and slicks formula, is it just gives you a little bit more feel for, track conditions, and particularly if you've got a long safety car period like this, if you're a thinking driver, Charlie, then when you get to the hairpin, you can sort of maybe just drop a little bit back and sort of take a bit of a run around the outside, or a run around the outside of a corner that might be off the racing line, just to get a feel for it and see if, ooh, that feels a bit better. Well, there is one of our class leaders, Mick Grant. He's made a really good run up the grid, actually. Very quick start for him. He's in 9th place, and Mick is leading Class TA among the Tiger open sports cars. So our overall leader, Keith White, is leading the main class. Nick Starkey in the number 11 Caterham Superlight. He is leading Class B.
So this is a real shame, really, from our point of view, the driver's point of view, and you, the viewers, really. We've got just over 2 minutes left. These races are only 10 minutes long today to get as much into the programme as possible, and to sort of have most of the race under the safety car isn't what any of us want, but a real shame, and I hope that driver is okay that has gone off, because that's been there for quite a long time, and the ambulance is there. I haven't actually seen the driver wandering around the car, so hopefully we hope he or she is okay.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that was Stratton Mackay's Subaru Impreza, so I mean the medical crew are there with him, so hopefully he will be okay. And again, particularly given the speed of modern racing cars, even club racing, if you do have an accident and the driver complains of pain in the back or pain in the legs, then of course the medical crew will do their extreme utmost to prevent any injury that would be unnecessary after the accident. If you get hurt during an accident, that's one thing. You really don't want to hurt them any further after an accident. As you say, unfortunately for the rest of the grid, that means following the safety car, no chance of overtaking, no chance of actually having what you came for, which is a race, but at least they have got a second race. Well, the safety car is running away from the leader. We may just be getting ready to go green.
Yeah,
and the safety car is in the pit lane.
Green flag is at the start-finish line. The race is now go again.
Here we go then. Keith White leads. Tommy Field right behind him in the first of those Vauxhall Tigras, these wide-bodied silhouette cars. looking for all the world like they should be on a hot rod oval, and in fact the slippery surface here is very close to that. It's Keith White, Tommy Field, Chris Brockhurst in third place, and then Nick Starkey, the fourth car. There he is in that black and green Caterham Superlight. He's leading his class. Bill Cookson behind him in fifth position is leading his class, or was, and a great lunge up the inside. Number 4, Richard Smith, dives by Chris Ayling.
Good move, very good move.
That was a very brave move up the inside. He's desperate to try and make up for lost ground. Next time they come round, it'll be the last lap, so he's made up a couple of places, and he's desperate to try and make up some more. Charlie, the leader, Keith White, has won every time he's been out in this category so far this season, and not showing any signs of backing off. 54.56 his last lap. That is the fastest lap of the race, and he set a 55.3 in qualifying, so he's 0.8 quicker than the pole position time. Conditions are improving, but unfortunately a very short race for his rivals. However, Tommy Field in second, Chris Brockhurst in third, not able to catch him, and after being in the pits, Baz Johnson has rejoined, but I'm afraid whatever transmission woes ailed him, looks like they still are. Richard Smith there in car number 4, and a big slide from behind from Paul Eve. Richard Smith trying to come up the order. Tommy Field, Chris Brockhurst chasing, but it's going to be victory here for Keith White as he takes the win. First of 2 races for these cars, so they'll be hoping race 2 involves a few more laps at speed. Keith White the winner, Tommy Field in second, Chris Brockhurst in third place. Behind them, the class winner, Nick Starkey in his Caterham, with Bill Cookson right behind him in his Tiger sports car, and one of the Corrados carves up the grass a little bit more. And that was Vic Hope dropping down the order at the hairpin.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want to do, is go off on the last corner, on the last lap, and you've been following a safety car for most of the race. So I bet he's going to be absolutely seething with anger, and only probably to his own fault. Yeah,
I'm afraid so. He's going to be very disappointed, but there's not much you can do about that. He's just outbraked himself, presumably right in the middle of a big dice with somebody, and off he went in that Corrado. So confirmation then, after just 4 racing laps, Keith White is the winner from Tommy Field, with Chris Brockhurst in third. Class winners are also Nick Starkey and Bill Cookson won his class, and Mick Grant in 10th place won his class as well in his Tiger R6. Well, Keith White, our winner there in that truncated race, and I understand he is now down in the pit lane with Jenny Gow.
Yes, he is. Keith, congratulations. It looked tough going out there, and disappointing, I suppose, that most of it was done under the safety car.
Yeah, it's a shame, really. We could have had a good race. On the start, I don't know where everybody got to, but I slowed it down, nearly stopped it once on top of the hairpin, and I looked in the mirror, they were all gone again. But they should have kept up, done my best, but shame about the last start. We've done a few more laps, really. Let me and Tommy have a good old fight.
Well, you're going to go out again, I fear, so that gives you another chance to show off the powers of your BMW, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's going very well. We put a wet setting on it this morning after yesterday's testing in the dry, and it worked well.
Just explain to everyone who sat at home right now, all snug and warm and comfortable and dry, what the conditions are like out there, because it's quite hard to gauge looking at the cameras.
It's very, 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 very bad. For me, it wasn't too bad then, because the pace car came out, the safety car came out, so we didn't catch the back marker, so I could see all right. But in qualifying this morning, you can't see in front of you. It's terrible.
Well, sight's a wonderful thing. Yeah. It's a little bit overrated. Let's bring in your garland and go and celebrate. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.